Okay, this is just a little tutorial as far as how to interpret your child's MAP test scores. Now, all parents will get these sheets sent home twice a year, and yours will look a little different than this one. Yours will show a reading with a chart over to the side. Then it'll show a language with a chart, math with a chart, and then it will also show um, a language usage with a chart over to the side. And some years, they won't take, we'll do a science as well. What we're looking for is your child is in the blue. So you can see in this sample, all right, when we look right here, that your child will be showing like fall of 2008, for example. Your child scored a 219 in reading, and then spring of 2009, a 228. Now, these are RIT scores. We're not going to get into the minutia of what these really are at this point because we're just trying to talk about what's going to drive effective conversation between you and your child. So over here to the right is a box. You'll see the same RIT scores over here. You see fall of 2008, 219, and fall of 2008, we have a 219. So that's how they correspond. Okay, now what these mean for you is a 219 in the fall of 2008 means 49th percentile. So your child, if in a line with 100 other students randomly selected around the country that took this test during this testing period, would be standing 49th in line. 48 students would have done worse, and 51 would have done better. Okay, with your child being number 49. Now, it's always interesting and important to see blue to blue to blue. How did your child fare in 08 compared to 09? Then fall of 09, fall of 2010. The goal is the RIT score should be going up each time, or it should be trending up at least. Now, another important thing to look at is the orange, which is your district score. How does your child compare to his or her class? Because that's what this would be, the other 10th graders, for example, or the other fourth graders or the other third graders. So in this case, this particular student is scoring above the ordinary student in his or her class. Okay, and then the yellow is the nationally normed data. So how is your school then comparing to the national norm? So in this particular case, the school is doing a fair amount worse than other schools in the country on that same session, in that same testing session. So again, this student compared to district and normed data is doing pretty well, but district isn't quite. Now, this is something that obviously as a school we would be looking at. We always look and see how we're doing compared to everyone else in the norm data set. We're also looking to see how each individual student does compared to his or her class. Obviously, we want to see a trend upward. And then again, over to the right are the percentile rankings. You'll see anything from 0 to 100 in here. And this is simply the margin of error, meaning this 79 we think could also range down to a 71 or up to an 83, depending on circumstances. This range is where we feel they will test. For simplicity, just focus on the bold data. Again, blue is your student, orange is your district, and yellow is just the nationally normed data of everyone else testing in the spring of 2009 as a 10th grader in this particular chart. All right, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask a teacher, principal, counselor, anyone that's around, and we can help you out with these things if you are not comfortable with learning these yourself, because after all, we are here to help. We hope to have great conversations about these MAP scores going forward.